Hey, hello, it's me RJB and I'm back for another video. Today with LuckYBack on the name 675TYUHJKM against his opponent SH here on the bottom left corner of the map, and he is also known by the name Ryan Teacher, although I'm 100% sure that won't be saying you all that much. So instead I'll just describe this guy, his playstyle for you instead. He's a player who's very much focused on macro. He's not as well gifted in the department of mouse speed, or in micro for that matter, but somehow this guy manages to be extremely efficient with his game style. Extremely efficient, and his build orders are pretty much on point. If there's anyone on Starcraft who has really good build orders, that is really focused on building macro, making units, building structures, and throwing out attacks at the same time, it is SH. So don't let his lower APM, so to speak, catch you off guard. He is a force to be reckoned with, and honestly one of the scariest players to play against. But let's see if he can do it. Let's see if he can beat LuckYBack here, who's on the Zerg, and he's a pretty good Zerg player. He is starting off with a choke there in the front, added on 2 macro hatcheries. Nope, number 3 macro hatch there is already on the way. He knows he's got nothing to fear because he hasn't found his opponent yet, and his opponent hasn't found him yet. SH going for +2 Nexus, so LuckYBack is not going to find any... He's not going to feel any of the backfiring from electing to go for that very heavy hatchery build with a very weak single sunken choke here in the front. He's not going to feel anything backfiring because, well, there's nothing pressuring him, basically. He's completely free to do as he pleases because SH is going for a very, very heavy macro build order. As I already mentioned before, he's going for 3 Nexus. 3 Nexus gives you a lot of probes very quickly. You will probably have all the probes you need at around the 7 or 8 minute mark. Once you'll hit about 75, and you can build a base very quick, you can max out very quick, you can get basically all the tech you need very, very rapidly. Whereas LuckYBack is adding on even more hatcheries. There's already 4 extra hatcheries there in his base for macro. He's only just now starting to add on Sunkens here in the front to keep SH out. SH is starting a proxy robo base here in the middle, or robo proxy you could call it. He's going to build some cannons there, some robo facilities there as well. Doesn't really serve the purpose to build robo facilities in his base if the distance is this great. It's a cross map game. Still of Doom there coming out as well, and it appears he's going to build a lot of gateways there as well. So he's just electing to, I think, keep some of his core tech here in his main base, and then go and build everything he needs here on the middle, where the distance to his opponent is very, very small. He's adding on 2 robos here in the middle, right there. There's 2 robos we got there. We got another pilot coming down there as well, and LuckYBack finally starts with gas. He has about a good grasp on what SH has. It's highlighted here. You can see this here on the middle. You can see the robo there, so he knows that there's no robo out on the map yet. There's nothing for him to fear. That's one of the downsides of SH build order. His robo does get delayed a little bit, but once he can build things that he needs, like once he has the robos out and stuff like that at around the 5:30 or 5:50 minute mark, he'll also be able to build anything he wants because his pro count is already that high. It's on 50. It will be on about 63 or 64, right on the, 54, right on 6 minutes. He's killing some overlords there with his cores here, putting some pressure and denying some vision for LuckYBack, who's himself already on 41 drones, and he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hatcheries there, another 4 there on the top, so that's 9 macro hatcheries, 11 hatcheries there in total. I think this is the quickest 11 hatcheries I've seen ever, basically. He's got 2 dens for both speed and range, because he needs Hydralisk to start defending himself. He's almost no Sunkens in the front. He really is playing this very risky. I could even dare argue that SH could try to barge through. He sees the Sun in the front, so he might elect to barge through. But this is also about the timing where LuckYBack starts building a lot of Hydralisks because he has the money to do so. He's got the gas to do so. And most importantly, he's got the hatcheries to do so. Also, this was an Evo chamber, so it wasn't 11 hatcheries, but 10 in total. 8 macro here, 4 macro here. More cores coming in to deal some damage. Hydralisk there defending the Overlords, although the good thing that SH has achieved here is denying vision of these sides here, so there's not much reaction time for LuckYBack to respond to those drops coming in. He's got Reavers here being made on the middle. He's planning on just rushing through the front there with Zealots that have speed and upgrades as well. He's got level 1 weapon upgrade finished up. He's got Templar's Archive finished up there in the back. I don't know if he has shuttle speed finished up. So he's a little bit slow with attacking, but he is setting himself up for an absolutely massive attack because he'll be maxing out, I think, at about the 8:30 minute mark, which is very, very quick. He'll have about 75 probes, unless he stopped making probes. Nope, he's still making them. He'll have about 85 probably, because he has a lot of them still in the queue. Only mining from 4 simulators, very optimized. He's spending exactly what he needs, and his income is also exactly what he needs. And the push now starts in 7:35. He's got what he needs finished up. So now he's also going to start building cannons here on the sides to contain his opponent, and build mass gateways here on the middle. LuckYBack himself is not to be underestimated in this situation because, as I mentioned before, 8 macro hatcheries, adding on 2 more for a total of 10. This will be 12 hatcheries, though he lost the 1 there in the front. So it's back to 11. He's losing the Sungus in the front as well. And now is actually the perfect timing for him to go in and attack, but he's waiting a little bit too long because he has no vision here. He wants to secure this first. If he just got some vision a little bit deeper into the base, he could... well, he would know that he could go in, but he hasn't really checked whether he can or can't. So he doesn't know that there's only 3 Sunkatsu in the back. And in he goes with all of his Hydralisks, and a lot of Zealots there behind those Reavers, but the Reavers are going to get cut out by the Hydralisks. But now he goes in with his Zealots. He isn't sending all of them in though. He could be sending all of them in and probably win the fight here, but LuckYBack here turns around, and SH is not going in just yet because he still does not believe he has enough to go in for the fight, which will actually ring true in only a couple of seconds because more units on the way here from LuckYBack. He's got 18 Hydralisks spawning, whereas SH at the moment has a Reaver drop flying in, ready to go in, so under support of a Corsair. He goes in here in the front, huge brutal slugfest here happening, but I don't think SH is going to get far. He is tearing through a lot of these Hydralisks there though, and the Hydralisks are getting micro very little bit by little bit. He's defending against the shuttle drop there at the same time as well, so he tried to get in, but he couldn't get in. Reavers there in the back are still alive. And LuckYBack holds this one with relative ease. And this is purely because he has so many Hydralisks, because he went for so many hatcheries so early on. But these cannons here past the hill are really being an annoyance because they're attacking these Hydralisks here in the middle. And the Reavers, of course, are assisting in killing and mowing down those waves of Hydralisks. So the drop has not yet gone in. He's not yet gone in through the front either. He's tried, but he couldn't get in. We've got even more hatcheries now, 5 there on the top, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 here on the bottom. And a couple of drones moving to the front. LuckYBack hasn't added on any more drones. I think he has about 38 of them mining minerals, and he's got about, well, maybe less. He's got 35 mining minerals, and he's got 12 here on the gas. Well, 15 on the gas, so it's even less mining minerals. So he might have to, well, he's adding 20 drones now at a time. So yeah, he'll be on 67 or about so very soon, unless he's sending them to the front here to help build a new sunken buffer zone for these Reavers and units from SH to go through first. SH wants to go in with drops, but he isn't feeling comfortable enough just yet. He wants to set himself up a little bit more. And so we're only 10:30 into the match, and we already have the entire map built on by SH. He's got 90 probes. He's mining from 5 simulators in total, so he's playing with a lot of Zealots. Pretty much no Dragoons at all actually. He does have about 16 gateways here on the middle, adding on even more robos. So he has the production ability to keep spamming and sending and keep control here over the middle and facilitate this contain he's trying to set up here on LuckYBack. He's trying to go in with these shuttles here on the side, but he is currently busy here in the front. He hasn't made much progress, hasn't been able to make much progress, because going in would be suicide at this point, because it might allow LuckYBack to go in for the counterattack. So first he wants to set up this contain. It's not very hype, but it's technical and necessary. And this is one of the things that makes SH so dangerous. He is pretty quick on setting up containments, building a lot of buildings, and setting up good, strong attacks. He knows not to pull the trigger too early. He knows exactly when to go in. And sometimes that might make him a little bit less exciting, I guess, to watch. But this is basically one of the hardest playstyles to play into as a Zerg. Lurkers here on the front, there's no observer, so all those zealots are walking into the meat grinder, but he's coming in with 2 drops are on the side, coming drop on the bottom side here as well. This one might get through all the way. Doesn't make it. Oh, he gets a storm off, but the storm barely misses. It barely misses. He doesn't get any kills there with the storm. You almost got it, but it didn't quite work out. Now he's going to go for the counterattack here to kill those Reavers, but those cannons here on either side are making that impossible, which means that we're going to be seeing Guardians coming out here from LuckYBack, because that is his only option to break out. Or maybe he can overlord some units here over to the corner and possibly start killing and destroying this containment with units here on the low ground next to the hill. But that might take a while because he's still busy with all kinds of upgrades being on the way and still adding on to his base. He got 66 drones, although a couple of them are being sent here to the front to build more Sunkens or maybe even spore colonies. We've got an observer on the way here for SH. It's all the way there in the back. He's making shuttles for mass Reaver drops into LuckYBack's base because he knows it's got it significantly harder to go to the front. But it might actually already be a little bit too late for those mass Reaver drops, because LuckYBack is maxed out. He's got Hydralisks everywhere, Lurkers everywhere, and he is just cruising on into that next phase of the game where he can start throwing out mass units non-stop, although he might need about 15 more drones to finance it, because currently he is unable to finance it. Drop there on the bottom. Let's keep an eye on that one. He's still fighting off this frontal attack here from SH, who is once again not having much success. Although this one might go in. It's going in, but I think LuckYBack saw it, and LuckYBack is target firing the shuttle. The shuttle goes down. Another one comes in here from the side, but that one goes down as well. And SH, once again, not finding much success. He's added on 2 more simulators there to get more gas. And he's got every single upgrade he needs on the way. Air, weapon, air armor. He's got shields, armor, weapon for ground as well. And he's switching over to Dragoons, because he definitely needs some Dragoons now to fight against those Lurkers, because Zealots, they kind of stack up and a lot of the Zealots can hit there at the same time, so Lurkers is definitely the option he needs. He might also want to kill about 12 probes, because he is on the mining cap, and he needs a couple more units. Even though it's only 6 Dragoons, those 6 Dragoons might make a difference in how you attack, how much damage you get down and done on your opponent. So we have Guardians here now for LuckYBack. He's moving out to the sides to break this containment that's been set up, and there's nothing actually here to kill those Guardians here up on the hill, so he's just going to have to micro them backwards a tiny little bit to get the damage down there on those cannons on the sides, and both players have dropped their APM significantly, which is also very uncharacteristic for LuckYBack. Usually he's... oh, he just got mass dropped. He just got in with the storm drop. He got all the drones there, and LuckYBack is unluckily on very low minerals, which means that now SH can start to get some real progress down here in the front. Although he's going in with the Guardians, he does have some Storms and Templars there in the back, so the Storms and Templars are going to come down on the Guardians. That's a pretty decent storm, get some pretty good storms down there. Also Zerglings going in to kill the Reavers, but the Reavers killing the Zerglings quicker than the Zerglings kill the Reavers, which means that now the Guardians just have to clean up whatever is left. He's got 58 drones now, he's got 10 more of them on the way. He pulled most of his drones off the gas. There's nothing in the shuttle left there. He does have both upgrades. No, he does have no upgrades on the way. At the moment, he's completely focusing on rebuilding his lost drones. He's got 68 of them at the moment. Though, of course, as a player, you never know exactly how many you have. I've caught myself off guard watching replays of myself where it turns out I have less drones or more drones than I thought I did. So it's hard to optimize exactly how many you've got. Unless you've got them hotkeyed, in which case you can see that you've got, for example, 4 groups of drones, which gives you 46 on the minerals, and then you've got about 30 on the gas, and you can somewhat deduce that you've got 76 drones. But 67 here at the moment for LuckYBack. It means about 30 on the well, I'd say about 40 on the minerals, but more importantly, front attack happening here. Observer moving forward to kill those lurkers, and SH is penetrating pretty deep into LuckYBack's base, but LuckYBack's got units moving out to the front to try and stop this from happening. He's got a pretty good surround here on those units from SH, and I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to break through and kill those units here. Also, he's breaking through the containment here on the top side, so he's got an opening here to fly through with mass Mutalisks or with an Overlord drop. He's got two options there really to try and break free. Though of course you can also use plagues on those buildings here on the side to try and break through, which would make life significantly easier, but I think he's gonna go for a Dark Swarm because he has two Defilers here. He got Consume finished. He did also research Plague. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what he's gonna do, but does have some options. SH here trying to stop those Guardians from breaking this, but he doesn't have vision off those Guardians. Well, he does, because if a unit attacks, you get a vision. So every time it attacks, it turns visible. And you can attack it that way. Oops. Alright. SH currently not attacking. He's focusing on rebuilding his mass. He's really not getting much success. His attacks aren't as frequent as you would expect from some other players, but that's mostly because his APM is not as high as some of those other 300 APM monsters that we sometimes watch. But nonetheless, his containment is brutal. He's rebuilding cannons. Great play coming down here on those Dragoons. Gonna make them a little bit weaker as they die twice as fast. And down they go. Well, you still have the tear through the shields though, so they don't die to it. You just get 1 HP left, and then kill the shields. And in they go. 2, 2, 3 upgrades there. Oh, drop coming in here at the same time. He's gonna make it through all the way, but he's gonna have to load on top of lurkers. But no, the shuttle actually goes down before it arrives, and the drones are secured and safe. LuckYBack doesn't lose his income, but another drop's already there, prepared to fly in under the assistance of apparently this Corsair, I hope. Maybe he's gonna try. Nope, he's gonna try without. And the shuttle gets sniped by Hylas pretty much instantly. It showcases how important it is to send some assistance with your shuttle so it doesn't get one shot as it flies in. He did, however, manage to kill 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Sunkens in the front, and probably a ton of units as well. And here comes another Defiler there with energy for Plague. I think he's going to throw in a Plague on those Dragoons there, although he didn't really have to, but killing those Dragoons faster, of course, does help. Level 1 armor, level 2 weapon on those Hydralisks. The Zerglings have only level 1 carapace. Of course, do keep in mind his upgrades got slowed down because he lost so many drones just earlier, which put him in somewhat of a bind, economically speaking. A couple more gateways have been added on there on the middle. Just making mass Stargates there for mass Corsairs, and this time he does have a drop there on the side, assisted by Corsairs to fly in and once again hit those drones, but there's still Hylas there in between, and I think this is about 14 lurkers. There's a nice little pocket there on the top corner where you can fly in. LuckYBack is pulling his drones off the minerals. He's flying away. He's losing almost nothing at all. Those drones there staying alive, staying safe. Frontal attack here also falling flat, not getting much results. There might still be something in those shuttles. No, there's nothing in there. They're empty. Sometimes people like to keep one Templar in the shuttle and then drop it a little bit later and then kill the drones anyway, even though you just thought you were safe, but you're not. So once again, a lot of drones being sent here to the front to replace the lost Sunkens. He's got that beautiful Defiler there that has been doing a lot of work with its plagues, but it looks like LuckYBack is in a little bit of a bind here, because having to pull his drones off the minerals has cost him a lot of mining time, which means he's pretty much broke at the moment and incapable of maxing out, although it might also be due to the fact his drone count is so low. SH, however, is floating a big bank because he's got 91 probes there in total, which most are, of course, on the minerals. So he's over-mining by a little bit. But he's getting some ground. He's basically a back and forth. Look, SH gains some ground. LuckYBack replaces it and pushes SH back as he kills those units. Then SH tries again. It's a rinse and repeat method. Oh no, another drop coming in here, but this time it misses as well. It misses as well. So the army size of LuckYBack seems rather small because he has about 20 lurkers spread about his base, which is a lot of supply. That is a lot of supply. that you can't fight with. But in he goes once again here to the front, and he's replacing the lost Sunkens pretty quickly. And once again, he is a little bit under-droned. A little bit under-droned. About to drop there on the top, sorry. On the top side of the map. Pushing with the Reavers and Dragoons at the same time. There flies in with the drop. This time LuckYBack might not spot it. LuckYBack is not responding to it. LuckYBack responds to it. Pulls his drones to safety. And the storm comes down on the hive, but there's nothing there on the hive for the storm to kill. Once again, oh, Reaver there unloads, but Reaver doesn't get a shot off. There's still one more Templar in there. Templar unloads, Templar doesn't get a storm off. It was hidden right there. Like, that's what I mean. Like, sometimes people like to hide and play tricky drops. Tricky drops are very annoying, but you always kind of just have to make sure that the shuttles die before you send your drones back. But it does hurt your economy significantly. He's only on 56 drones at the moment. He's going to have to add a lot more, because that very low drone count on his minerals is absolutely hurting him. And he'd be having he'd be having a much easier time simply if he had more drones on the minerals, which he currently does not have. And he's not making any new ones either. He's making a huge mistake there. He's only on 500 minerals at the moment as we speak. And he's facing a push which is draining all of his minerals. So you can basically say it's a war of attrition where whoever has the most resources at the end of the day winds up winning, which looks to be SH, but SH has not managed to break through yet. But I feel he might be breaking through very, very soon. More courses are being produced at the moment to kill Overlords, kill Guardians that are really facilitating the defense here for LuckYBack. Also, those Plagues are doing a lot of work. So drop comes in here through the front, will get intercepted, gets killed, and the drop here coming in from the bottom side while distracted, but I think he might be seeing this one. He's not responding to it. He's not seeing it. Storm's unloading. Storm's Reavers on the low ground. But no Storm comes down because the Lurkers are simply too great in numbers for those Templars to be able to really get a Storm off. And once again, the game extends. SH has been doing a great rinse and repeat. This is basically how to play Zerg, Protoss versus Zerg. It's very intensive for the Protoss. You have to spam out non-stop, attack frontally, flying drops, and pray to the Lords above that you get one of those storm hits on the drones. Because at some point, as we've seen here, it becomes very hard to hit any of those storms, because the Lurkers are too great in number, and the Zerg is pretty beefy, although kind of poor. But those Plagues here on those Dragoons are absolutely massive and making defending so much easier for him. Another Plague there comes down on the Reavers. The fighter has done some real work, and the fighter once again runs to the back, stays alive. But it looks like these Overlords are in danger of dying to these Corsairs, which are just tearing through those Overlords so damn quick. Drop comes in there at the same time as well while it's distracted. Single Templar in there, Templar doesn't get the Storm off. It was out of range. It couldn't reach the drone pile. Like, he clicked on the minerals, was a little too far away, had to walk around, but it died before it could walk around. He's still trying to clear the front here. As I've mentioned many times before, 57 drones is not enough. He's also lost, I think, about 10 Overlords here on the side. No, not 10, I think about 8. He's lost about 8 or 9 Overlords here on the side to the Corsairs. That definitely hurts him. Now he has to spend a lot of minerals on making Overlords first before being able to make more units to defend. But once again, he's going to use a Plague here on these units to help himself with staying alive. And the Plagues are definitely helping out. Because look at how quick that HP goes down. And the Reaver goes down there as well. Another drop here on the top side. This one is a Reaver. And I think there's a Templar in there as well. Oh, it's 3 Reavers in fact. So he's going to land here on the low ground outside of the range of the Lurkers. But you know he's still too close. Still too close. It's hard to know because he doesn't exactly know where each Lurker is burrowed because he simply can't see them. He simply can't see them. This is pretty much like the best Defiler play I've seen in terms of defending. I almost never see Defilers used like this on fastest map, where you just make new Defilers and Plague the Reavers, Plague the Dragoons, and make attacking all that much harder for the Protoss. Although he has pretty much no minerals once again because he's forced to pull up his drones non-stop all the time. Drops coming in here. Ooh, Storm there. Storm hits the wrong side. Storm hits the wrong side. So, cracking my voice. But nonetheless, I wish I could tell LuckYBack to get 10 more drones or maybe 15 more drones. He'd be completely fine there in the back. The fact he's got so few drones mining minerals is absolutely hurting him. He's got less than 30 drones mining minerals, even though it's 50 stacked mineral patches. Another shuttle there comes in, 4 Templars this time around. There's going to be unloading on top of the lurkers, 1, 2, 3. He doesn't get a storm off, and this shuttle dies there at the same time. Rinse and repeat, there will be a chance, there will be a window, there will be one shot where you can make a difference. Although it looks like he doesn't really have to make the difference with the shuttle drops. Because the Reavers here in the front, the Dragoons here in the front, are definitely making more progress. He's moved from here all the way to here. He's cleared out this entire portion there, so he's definitely making progress. More drops. There's another drop there on the bottom, but it's empty. He's loading up. He's pretty much got everything ready to here, so all he has to do is pick units, select it, load it up, send it to his side, and fly in. I really like that little configuration. It's very optimized. And he's broken through once again, but can he afford to make new Sunkets here in the front, given how broke he is? Please make more drones. I beg you, LuckYBack, make more drones, because you are so much... He isn't getting the chance to show off all of his skill, because he is way better than what we're seeing right now. And this is all purely because of his very low drone count. And even with this low drone count, he is definitely doing an amazing job there staying alive. Though Templar gets a storm off and he kills about 7 or so, but there's one more Templar in there in the shuttle. He unloads, he gets us, no, doesn't get a storm off. Once again, the lurkers save the day. The fighter there, still the MVP. He's sending a lot of drones here to the front to make new Sunkens, but he's only on 44 drones there in total. He's definitely pretty much completely broke. Another drop there comes in. This time it's 4 Templars once again. I think he found himself a spot to unload, although that one is definitely too far away. And that one gets the storm off all the drones, and it's only 14 drones left there. And LuckYBack is completely broke here. Only got 200 minerals remaining. Templar there in the back, still alive. These Templar there is... Nope. Oh, he's keeping it alive. He picked it up. He's still managing to somehow defend the front here with pretty much nothing at all. But that Templar there on the top side is go. Oh, he unloads it. Gets another storm up and he kills the remaining drones, and I think that's the game here for LuckYBack. Kind of salty to see, kind of sad to see that this is how it ends for him. Because he played a really good game. He played a really good game, but bad drone management in terms of he kept them alive most of the time, but bad drone management in terms of actually making more drones and having enough minerals. Like, this is a huge mistake there. He definitely would have held on. He could have held on for hours, I think, or maybe even won the game, because he'd have so many units to produce if he only had more drones. As you could see, he couldn't get past 140. It was very frustrating to watch. So even players of LuckYBack's level, who is pretty much in the top 5 of fastest map players all around for 2 versus 2, 1 versus 1, and 3 versus 3, he's definitely in that top 5. He definitely had more in him, but he just couldn't show it. He just couldn't show it. But who knows, maybe he gets to show off in this second game between SH and LuckYBack. LuckYBack this time is on the Terran, not on the Zerg. They have the exact same spawning locations, which is not that common to get the same spawning locations twice in a row. So Terran there on the top corner, SH here on the bottom corner. Both players have picked their races, so both players know that what they're up against. LuckYBack is a really good Terran player, although he tends to go for 2 barrack builds instead of a 3 barrack build, meaning he has a lot more micro to do, and there's a lot more room for error, because losing a single marine if you're on 2 barracks against a Protoss means you can die quick. But that rarely happens, because his control is that good. His micro is simply that good as a Terran player. This is barrack number 2, and we've got no... Wait, this is going to be barrack number 3 after this one. Or is it? Is it? Nope, he goes for 2 barracks. There's a depot. 2 barrack build order, and SH is going for a +1 Nexus. But knowing SH, he might go for a 3rd one here below, although he's going for one of my favorite build orders. Pylon, Nexus, Forge, Pylon, Gateway right there. And 2 cannons are in the front. And of course, 2 assimilators there in the back of his base to you know, satisfy all of his tech needs, which he's definitely going to sate. He is going for a tech build order because he has enough minerals here for a cyber core. There's an academy there coming in. He's always going for fast fire bats with 2 medics. I think his specific build order is, I think, 6 marines, 2 fire bats, 2 medics. But first he makes a command center because he has not been scouted yet, so he is somewhat assuming, you could call it gambling or an instinct, he's somewhat assuming that SH is not attacking anytime soon. So you can afford to stop making marines there and make 2 command centers, not 1, but 2 command centers to boost up his economy. Cybercore there is finishing up for SH, he's building pylons in both his corners, got one right there as well, to cover his entire base and see everything. So he cannot get cheesed by a firebat from a barrack that's being flown over the hill and then runs for his probes. He's making a cannon there nonetheless, just to be safe. Making a zealot there and sending it to the front, also just to be safe. I think he lost his probe here to those marines. Which one got the kill? That one got the kill. So he lost his probe there. He's also building a frontal wall already quite early on into the game. You know, he's gonna need it, so might as well build it. Factory already on the way. He's mining from 2 refineries. Command center is almost finished up there in the front, well, in the back. One more cannon here. What? That's the Citadel of Dune? He's building the Citadel of Dune here in the front. I mean, I guess you don't need it anymore after you get your Zealot speed and your Templars archive, so he can afford to put it there in the front as somewhat of a wall and as basically a meat shield for the Terran to go through before being able to reach the back of the base or pretty much break to the front or anything of the base. So 2 robos here in the middle. Wall component number 2 out of 3 is being built. 2 starports are on the way as anti-drop. He is gonna move that factory just a tiny bit. Make it all line up for the people with OCD. Having a very ordered and organized and neatly placed base might just be very important for a lot of players. I personally think it's very important to do it because it can make a difference in terms of navigating your own base, because having to find things in your own base can be quite a struggle. But I'd rather not be occupied with. I'd like to focus on just building, making units, and fighting instead of having to find where did I place that one building that I need right now. Where is it? Where is it? Sometimes that is a real fight, a real struggle as a Starcraft player. But some people can manage just fine with placing things randomly. Bunker coming down there as well. He still has a wide open hole there in the front, but he's feeling safe for now. He has turret there as well for Dark Templars. He's got 2 raids there on the way. He threw down a scan, but where did he throw the scan? He scanned this and this. Alright, so he scanned the front and the back. We saw all the tech, he saw the 2 Reavers there, he saw this as well. I think he saw the 2 Robo Facilities there too, so he has information that he needs, he's got himself prepared, and he knows he's on track to defend himself against SH, who's just prepared his first attack. It's a combination attack, and the timing is impressive. It's an impressive timing because of 2 Dragoons and 5 Zealots and 2 Reavers walking through the front, ready to break through this neat little wall that LuckYBack just finished. Already has his next attack already in the making. Upgrades on the way. Shuttle speed almost finished up. And he's gonna just tear through the front here with those Reavers. That's what we're going to go through, but the raids coming in. But the Dragoons are there to attack the raids, but the shuttle's gonna go down. No, his shuttle stays alive. He doesn't want to lose his Dragoons because raids, because raids go down pretty quick. He's going to try to go in nonetheless and snipes the shuttle there. So no more Reaver shuttle micro, which means to push you in the back is going to be very, very slow. Well, in the front. It's going to be a very slow push because he can no longer lift up those Reavers. He's going to just kill the Reavers there. So he's going to try. The tank is firing on the Reavers as well. One Reaver goes down, so pretty great micro and control there from LuckYBack, using his race to finish off to make sure the Reaver is on low enough HP for the tank to kill it faster. And he kills the Reaver there because the Dragoons are not fighting back, because the Dragoons don't have range yet, I think. So The frontal attack here doesn't get much results, all thanks to those raids there in the air, stopping the Reavers from pushing forward basically. So instead he's preparing himself for a mass drop attack. He's got 4 shuttles, and he's got, well, no more on the way. He's waiting for his Corsair to help it fly in. Raids are scouting the map, seeing if they can find anything that's trying to fly in. He's covering his flanks as well with a vision from those engineering bays, and he's making 2 more to cover this and this portion here as well. So he has every single side covered with vision. Adding on more factories now because he's got the money. He's got 53 SCVs. Zealots there moving to the sides to see if there's anything there that he has to be, well, concerned of when he's going to fly in that mass drop. So he's taking his time. He's mostly focusing on building his base, finishing his base before attacking. He's kind of the opposite of 458, who pretty much spams attacks but doesn't build that big base. SH is kind of the opposite. He first builds a big base and then starts spamming attacks. Although the frequency of his attacks are not as great as 458's, the thought process behind those attacks is pretty damn great. He pretty much always tries to go for really strong damaging attacks instead of trying to peel away very slowly, but the raids there are taking down those shuttles with some great shuttle micro. Another drop is coming in here from the other side, and this one's going to fly in and land all the way here next to the SCVs, and SCVs are going to go down. SCVs got stormed, and he loses almost all of the SCVs there. Only 28 of them left alive. He was too focused on the shuttles coming in from the bottom and didn't see the shuttles coming in from the side. Maybe he had the color, maybe he didn't have color blind mode activated like this. Maybe he couldn't see the black on the map, which has happened to me personally, because there's a screen setting. If you play it on full screen, not windowed, if you play on regular full screen, you get a gamma adjustment bar where you can make the screen brighter, or the game brighter, which is what I use. I have this game pretty bright, and I think LuckYBack doesn't have that turned on. I think he has full screen windowed turned on, which means the game is by default a bit darker, which makes seeing shuttles that are black on the map really, really difficult. But he goes in, and this drop is gonna fall. Whoa, no, he's gonna fly around. Oh, he almost got in. He almost got in. The raids weren't in time to respond. LuckYBack is doing a pretty good job rebounding, or, well, bouncing back, because he's got 4 command centers making SCVs, already back on 45, but his opponent is on 81 probes, and he's making 1 more for number 82, no, 2 more for number 83. And he's got pretty much his entire base already filled out here at 10 minutes. He hasn't thrown out that many attacks, but the attacks that he hit did some significant damage, which also means that he knows he can take a little bit more time not attacking and instead focusing on building a very strong and solid finishing move. Although he might be making a couple too many cannons here as anti-tank drop measure, but you know, it doesn't hurt. Although it might slow him down a little bit too much. He just have 4 shuttles here prepared to go in, but first he's got to load them up. He's also building cannons here in the front and on the side to set up a contain, very much like the previous game where he played the Protoss against the Zerg. He wanted to get that contain down on the Terran as quick as he can, or could. And that game, it worked out pretty well for him, but also mostly because LuckYBack didn't have that many workers mining minerals. This time around, he does have a lot of workers, and he's got more of them on the way. He's got 4 there, 3 there, 5 there, so that is at least another 12, so he'll be hitting 71 at least. He's queuing up even more, so he wants to hit 75, I think. A lot of Templars here. Is he gonna go for Archons? Alright, he's gonna go for Archons. That is something that I like. He's also building more cannons here on the middle. He wants to get as many stuff down on the map as he can. And he's doing so rather quick. He's being really fast with his building. He's building really, really quick. A lot of things being built on the map. He's pretty much maxed out. He's got all the upgrades on the way that he needs. He's got Dragoon range, hallucination, armor, weapon, shields, air attacks as well. He's got Archons, he's got a frontal attack happening as well. The Zealots are just going in and these tanks are assisting those Zealots with taking down these depots. The depot wall won't pose much of a threat in the near future. He's got the Archons finished up, he's going to load them up into the shuttles, and he's going to try to hit the the command center there with finishing blow, and hopefully have all these tanks assist him with taking down the command center. But first he's going in one by one. I really love this. He's going in one by one, maybe unconsciously because he just A-moved, but he's taken down a big portion of the wall there. He's repairing the wall there, trying to, well, get a new wall basically. He's also got all the Stargates finished up for carriers, so we can tech switch into carriers, because he knows that perhaps sticking to ground isn't the best option, because he hasn't really made that many more gateways. He's got 7 here, 5 there for about 13. Wait, that's incorrect. It's 12. It's 12, not 13. It's 12 gateways. I'm terrible at math. There's number 13. You know what? It's 13. There's number 13 there. I didn't miscount. So I'm not terrible at math and counting. Anyway, he's finally feeling comfortable enough and rich enough to fill out his entire base, which might mean the game, if the action breaks out anytime soon, will be more action-packed than what we've been seeing so far, because so far we haven't seen much action. SH really is taking his time. He's taking the time, all the time he has in the world, which might not be the best choice against a player like LuckYBack, who can rebound really quick and can defend himself with very little. He's got Mind Control on the way as well, but I don't see Dark Templars, so I don't think Mind Control is going to come out here for him. Yeah, he's maxed out. LuckYBack's maxed out. He's got himself prepared here to defend his Nexus, because he's scanned the mass shuttles, and he probably knows that it's going to be happening. Although, he's going in with a lot of hallucinated shuttles there as well, which is going to make it very difficult for LuckYBack to snipe shuttles with his raids, or to snipe shuttles with Marines. Because it's kind of a 50-50 chance. Either you hit a real shuttle, or you miss the real shuttle. That is 12 fake shuttles. That's double the amount of actual shuttles he's got in there. So he goes in with the mass attack, flies in over the top side where it's very hard for Marines and anything to fire on those shuttles, and he's going to unload here on top of the command center. That's a lot of Archons there. He's going straight for the command center, but he's attacking the barrack first. Although it's splash damage, so he's also hitting the command center at the same time, because that's what Archons do. They have splash damage, AoE damage, and he takes down not the command center. No, the command center stays alive. He does take down both of the barracks floating on top of the command center, but the AoE damage pretty much almost took down the command center there as well. So that's why Archons are very, very good. They deal a lot of damage very, very quick. Also, the tanks, of course, did assist him with dealing damage on the command center, because, you know, tank splash damage kind of always a double-edged sword, where it can hit you as well. But he's got level 1-1 attack and armor here on those tanks. He got level 1 attack on the Marines, and SH has 1-1 upgrades at the moment. He's got level 2, well, level 3 on the way. He's got Arbiters, Tribunal finished, he's got Carriers on the way, he's got Dark Templars here on the map as well, ready to fight back, and he has pretty much everything that he wants. He's got the tech switch on the way, but the tech switch might take a little bit too long, although he does have a lot of Templars here trying to take down and slow down these tanks. But a lot of Templars go down before they can storm, and the Templar there as well gets scanned, so it goes down. And LuckYBack is here on the push to break free. He did lose a couple of SCVs there on the gas there on the top spots, but he can't afford to lose those. He keeps throwing out more scans because he wants to see if there's Dark Templars there in the front here, ready to kill his tanks, because he didn't make a vessel, though that vessel now arriving on the scene, which is going to render these Dark Templars somewhat useless. And he's pushing through these cannons here really, really fast. Yeah, now SH is forced to just throw away those Dark Templars, because the vessel just makes them completely useless. It saves the tank there from the cannon fire. He's building, I think, another gateway base here on the top side, or maybe he's going to build reavers, I'm not sure. But he's going to build something there. Also, more cannons being built here on the side. He wants to facilitate, or at least ensure, that he can fight on top of these cannons when he's attacking the sides there. It's about 12 raids here, finished up. Well, there's a Valkyrie there in the mix as well. 2 Valkyries in the mix there with those raids. He's got a lot of starports there as well, and pushing through the front here still, although the vessel is going to the side, but he's going to lose all of his units here to those Dark Templars. Dark Templar's going for the counterattack, ready to kill those tanks here on the middle. He's going to take down these cannons here on the side first before the carriers arrive on the scene, because he knows he has to deal a lot of damage and do a lot of work before the carriers arrive. But there's only 7 carriers at the moment. He does have, I think, an overkill of observers. He does have some Corsairs there as well. Corsairs are amazing against raids. He's even adding on more Corsairs. He's got 2 Arbiters there as well. 3 Arbiters, but they get scanned just now. So he knows that they're there. He's making more gateways here on the top. So we can tech switch from carriers into gateways without LuckYBack knowing it's coming, because LuckYBack doesn't yet know that this exists here on the top. He doesn't know it exists. Had to take a sip of water. Because we're going into the real action now. It's 18 minutes in. And the real action is only just now beginning, but I think this is going to be the good stuff. SH is pretty good with his carriers, goes in, 7 carriers there, a lot of Corsairs there in the air as well to fight against those raids, so the raids are pretty much rendered useless. Dark Templars going in here through the front as well. Vessel moving forward, Vessel gets an EMP off, or did it not? I think got an EMP off on those... on nothing? He goes in, and the EMP now hits the carrier, so the carriers now have lower shields, though he didn't hit every single one of them. He only hit a couple of them, only hit 2 in fact. The EMP range, like the radius it hits, is actually rather small, so he goes in with the raids, but he sees that there's a lot of Corsairs there, so he is kind of dancing back and forth, deciding against going in and committing to it. He's making a lot of Valkyries there instead. He's not making much stuff from his factories, though he just queued everything up. So now he is making a lot of stuff from his factories. One more carrier has arrived on the scene. Carrier has arrived. I can't do it at the moment. My voice just can't do it. Sometimes I can somewhat mimic it, but that was just pathetic. Oh, cringy. Cringe, cringe, cringe. Pure cringe. So he's going in with the Goliaths, ready to fight against those carriers. It's because it's only 8 carriers, he can't fight that hard, but he got the Disruption Web there as well on top of the Goliaths, which help him kill the Goliaths as they are unable to fight back, and LuckYBack is forced to micro them out of the Disruption Webs. So he's actually using those courses pretty great, even though he isn't fighting against the raids at the moment. So he's going to sacrifice a bunch of probes. I think this is about 12 probes he's sacrificing here to open up supply space for more carriers, more gateway units. But more Corsairs on the way even. He's making so many Corsairs. I think he's making even too many of them. But I think he's going to go in for a kill attack here by disruption webbing these turrets and hopefully flying in for the command center. But that might just backfire because there's a lot of raids and Valkyries there behind. The raids, of course, will go down to the Corsairs rather quick. Possibly those Valkyries will go down to those Corsairs rather quick as well. Although a lot of the Halo missiles, Halo rockets, are killing those Corsairs there as their Halo rockets are flying back to the interceptors, into the carriers. That's interceptors which are being attacked. Ooh, look at them go down so quick, and these carriers go down so quick as well. This might actually have just been a huge mistake here from SH, as LuckYBack seemingly holds this without effort. This is pretty much effortless. This is absolutely effortless. Rarely have I seen someone hold carriers that easily, although do keep in mind it was mostly Corsairs, so the Corsairs mostly died to the Valkyrie AoE damage, so he didn't get anything done at all, which now makes the second phase of the game that we're entering right now, although you could call it the third phase or whatever phase. This phase of the game is going to be very difficult here for SH, because now he is racing against the clock to get a new wave of carriers finished up, while LuckYBack can just push through the map and probably establish dominance over the game. But do keep in mind, it looks like he has an Arbiter there on the top, and he's up to something fishy, because he's got a Dark Archon there with Mind Control there on the side under 2 Arbiters. He might be up to something. Maybe he's gonna recall it in and then recall it out. Would be very... Oh, he recalled it here to the top side. Alright, pretty sweet move. He's gonna fly in and try to mind control that SCV there. He's gonna recall it out. He recalled it out. He's got the mind controlled SCV, but I think LuckYBack noticed this, so there's a small chance he didn't. So the SV now is going to run back to base, which is going to turn this game into a race against the clock for LuckYBack. But I think LuckYBack's got this, although he's losing his units here to Dark Templars because he doesn't have a vessel there, but he does have a scan. Only one Goliath there to fight against the carrier, but the carrier might go down before the Goliath. Both go down at the same time. Both go down at the same time. He's clearing out the map. SH is trying to delay it, trying to buy time for his carriers to finish up. He's got, I think, 4 more carriers are on the way. He's got 6 of them finished up, so he's going for 8 once again. Well, 10, I mean. He's going for 10 carriers in total. He's got Dark Templars in the mix there as well. He's got Zealots there on the scene as well. Moving out. He's building his command center? I don't see the SCV anymore. Did it die? Did it die? Where did it go? Wait, there it is. There it is. I see it now. He's going to build the command center right there between all those cannons, but LuckYBack is already moving out across map, ready to attack and stop all this from happening. He's pretty much rushing this one. There's a small chance he might scan this, but it's all going to be a question about whether SH can fight off and fend off LuckYBack's attack here for long enough, or will he die before he has that command center finished, before he has the barracks finished, before he has the supply, because of course he needs supply as well in order to build those units, and he doesn't have much space in his base. Before he has factories, basically, that's the thing. Before he has factories with tanks, although those Valkyries here once again doing a lot of damage, he's got an armor there that gets his stasis down on I think about 6 or 7 Valkyries, but the Valkyries there in the back are still alive, which means those interceptors are dying very quick. He's got Marines there in the mix as well, and Goliaths too. Which means that these carriers, even though 10 carriers, the interceptors are dying pretty quick, although Course is now going in to kill those Valkyries, but I think the Course are going to go down before the Valkyries go down. Well, the Valkyries are taking quite some damage, but the Marines there are slipping in the back. He's got another stasis there with that Arbiter, and it looks like SH will hold and defend. This one low drop comes in here at the same time as well. Doesn't have much to defend, though he's got some Goliaths finishing up, ready to take down those Templars. But Templars arriving on the scene, Templars storming with all the SCVs, and SCVs are running to safety, but only he gets pretty much all the SCVs that were on the minerals. Pretty great storms there. He used 3 storms on pretty much all the SCVs he needed to kill, which is going to make this game even more difficult for LuckYBack, as he lost his mass here in the front, which is going to give LuckYBack just enough time to start building, I think, a barracks, I think depots, I think a factory, and possibly get tanks out on the map. Kind of sad to see, honestly. I don't really like mind control games. But, oh, he scanned. What did he scan? Ah, I can't see it, damn it. I can't see it. Nonetheless, though, he's still attacking, still going for it, still pushing his luck, still pushing forward. But there's very annoying, pesky Dark Templars here in the middle of the map, very slowly killing his stuff. Vessels arriving on the scene here. He's going to go for the vessels as well. Goliaths there on the scene as well, but Goliaths are not that great if they're not real great in numbers, because there's 11 carriers and 1 Dark Templar there below. Dark Templar there won't die. Oh, Dark Templar dies. Tanks, of course, firing on the Dark Templar, but these carriers are cleaning out all these things there. Throws out another scan. These scans there in the back. Sees the barracks that's finished. See that there's 5 SCVs there in the base, which might discourage him from, well, continuing to play. Uses the scan on the Dark Templars, because the Dark Templars have to die. Corsairs are killing the Valkyries. Valkyries now trying to run away, but I don't think he's got the time, and he calls a GG. Well, not precisely a GG, probably something about the mind controls and about how it's sad that he lost to mind control, but it's kind of a bummer. Kind of a bummer. I really dislike mind controls. I think they completely ruined the game. Mind controls just completely ruined the game. This game could have turned into something very interesting if, well, it had just turned into a regular Protoss versus Terran fight instead of a tanks, a Terran and Protoss versus a Terran fight. Because the tanks are just so OP if you add them to a Protoss. There's nothing that Terran can do. I mean, there have been some games I've seen where the Terran still wins against the mind control, but you can count them on one hand. They're so rare. They're very rare. Anyway, nonetheless, it looks like we have ourselves 2-0 for SH. LuckYBack sadly loses the game. And yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you didn't mind the lack of action, so to speak, or the mind control. I mean, I do mind the lack of action. I do mind the mind control. I don't really like it. Sometimes I'm even discouraged with uploading, but I'm going to upload it nonetheless. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you have a good day, and hope to see you next time around. I hope the video wasn't too long. My videos are kind of long most of the time. I'm not sure why. I guess I just like casting too much. But blah 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 blah.